Welcome back to Politics Today, and the issue on the front burner is the first-year anniversary of the 8th National Assembly. With me in our Abuja studios, joining me from our Abuja studio is Honorable Namdas. Back to you, Honorable Namdas. The issue of passing bills passing the first, second and third reading at the legislative level. I would like to find out what the relationship, what the synergy is between the lower chamber and the upper chamber, because in the past we've seen bills go through these readings, and at the end of the day, for instance, the petroleum industry bill has suffered a lot of setback, and you've talked about a couple of other bills that have been brought back to the fore. What's the relationship between the lower and the upper chamber, and what is the guarantee that these bills will actually see the light of day to the benefit of Nigerians at the end of the day?
Thank you so much. I want to tell you that the relationship between the lower chamber and the upper chamber is very excellent. I can assure you that most of the bills that have been initiated from the Senate will be concur here when it comes to the lower assembly. And so also most of the bills that have been initiated and passed in the lower assembly, I'm very sure it will also be passed in the upper assembly. Don't forget that we are in an era of change. And most of us, the leading party, which is the APC, I am also of the APC, our party talks about change. Our leaders, both in the House of Representatives and the Senate, also of the APC. And we are also serious to see that we support Mr. President to achieve the change he wants to get. And therefore, I want to tell you that there will be no such hiccups in terms of our job as legislators. We will ensure that we are on the same page and to ensure that Nigerians benefit. I want to even tell you something that you need to know. In the House of Representatives, then I want to tell you why this number of bills are this. The leadership of the House of Representatives inaugurated a committee made up of jurists, a lot of experts, and sometimes even civil society leaders were also involved. They were asked to go and review the laws of the Federation. Some of these laws of the Federation are obsolete. And therefore, for one to get the required change you desire in this country, you need to have it to be backed with legislation. Change cannot be achieved through mere pronouncement of policies, because if that is done, immediately after the tenure expires, and if the next person comes, he may not take your issue, the change very seriously. But because of that, we've been able to review these obsolete laws. This committee came out with about 250 laws that need to be repealed. Some of them need to be amended, others need to be repealed. And therefore, we are working on these bills. And that is why, given the seriousness of the fact that we want this country to have good governance, I am very sure that the Senate will concur with whatever good thing that the House of Representatives is doing.
All right, thank you, Honorable Namdas. But how do you react to the school of thought that the 8th Assembly is not people-oriented? Some believe that the legislators have been more interested in cutting corners for political and selfish gains, going on what they deem to be frivolous breaks, barring one or a couple which have been on a due to political exigencies. How do you react to that the Assembly is not people-oriented and is not focused on legislation to favor the people?
To be fair to us, I think this is not a very nice assessment of the legislature. I think I have said it in several forums. Most of these issues are perception problems. There are people who just feel that whatever comes from the National Assembly, no matter how good it is, the person will say that that is a bad thing. And I think there is need for us to have a change. And I want you to appreciate the fact that out of the three arms of government we have in this country, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary, the legislature is the youngest arm of government. Because for several years, a lot of people have been living with the executive, either under military dictatorship, under kind of, whether it's under anarchy, oligarchy, whatever, feudalism, you still have the executive and the judiciary in existence. It is very, always find that in democracy, it is what differentiates democracy with dictatorship is the legislature. And so many people in this country, especially people of my age, so younger people, have never operated on a democratic system for long. They for long have been on the military dictatorship. So whatever thing we do in the legislature is always been seriously criticized. But I must tell you that for us to have achieved the number of bills we have passed in 1 year, it will not be fair to people to say that we have not been people-oriented. And if people talk about frivolous journeys, where is the money that we are even embarking on journey? Up to now that I talk to you, I haven't gotten an official car to do my oversight function. So what is frivolous about it? I think the criticisms is necessary. We will accept them when they are very constructive, because we are, for the people, we are being elected. We will subject ourselves to criticisms, but we also plead with Nigerians that it should be better to be constructive. We are not, as it is being said, we are a popular house working for Nigerians, and we continue to work for Nigerians.
Okay. Another one sore point has been the 2016 budget, from the passage to the presidential assent. And then it's just come up that the budget, the fiscal document, might suffer yet another setback because the MDAs do not have the capacity for the implementation of this budget. The legislature oversees the MDAs. What's the way forward?
No, I think let us not rush issues. This budget has just been passed, and the government, federal government, has even asked the ministries to come up with priority areas so that they can implement the budgets. And I think the president, when he came to the National Assembly on in December and presented this particular budget, he told us that he was going to ensure that this budget is fully implemented 100%. And I want to tell you that this decision or this kind of rumor may not necessarily be true. And when we go on oversight functions, and we ensure that what we appropriated is judicially being used. If that is not done, we will come back to the House and we ensure that we take appropriate steps to ensure that these MDAs do not spend government money anyhow. I can assure you that we are on the same page with the president or the executive, because we want Nigerians to achieve and to get value for money. Therefore, that's why we will insist on having our oversight functions and ensure that we make laws for the good governance of this country. I think let's just wait and see how the implementation will go.
Okay, would you say that the leadership of the National Assembly has put behind all the troubles it was embroiled in the past, and is ready to move Nigeria forward in legislative business at this point?
Yes, let me concede to the fact that in the beginning we had issues with our leadership, but it's also fair to people to know that when we had these issues, it was at the early stages, and in a very small period we were able to resolve our crisis. And if today our leaders realize that what we did in the first instance was not done with any ill intention, we are working for our party, I believe in the philosophies and programs of the APC, this has been put behind us. Today, Femi Gbajamiamila, who also ran along with Dogara, he's the leader of the House, and we are happy working with him, and he's also happy working with the Speaker and all other principal officers. I must even add that even the PDP, we are having, when it comes to critical national issues, they support us to ensure that we achieve the change that we get. Because when it came to supplementary budget, they were there for us. I think we are having a fair House.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abdulrazak Namda, spokesperson of the House of Representatives, been assessing the scorecard of the 8th National Assembly 1 year after. Well, that's our program tonight. Many thanks for being part of the show. I'm Imana Amawe.